Hey folks, welcome to English 300, a fully online course, and I'm your instructor, Michelle St. George. And today in this lecture, we're going to be reviewing the syllabus as well as how to navigate our Blackboard page. And just for your information, this is a long lecture, probably my longest lecture of the semester. So I encourage you to take breaks if you need to, but you are responsible for watching the full thing, just because we are going to cover all parts of the syllabus, including the portfolio, the UWSR portfolio, as well as the course agenda. So there's a lot of important information here. So if you have to take breaks, do so, but make sure that you finish the entire video. Okay, so first things first. How do you get to the syllabus? Okay, so if you just go to the syllabus tab here, and then you'll see course syllabus here, and there's two versions, a PDF as well as a docs version. They're the exact same thing. I just have two versions for your convenience. So you can go ahead and click on one, and it will download, and here we are. So let's go ahead and begin with some nuts and bolts information. So my office, if you're ever going to visit me during office hours or for a conference, my office is located in the Music Building room 2599. And my office hour for this class is Mondays from 2:40 to 3:40, and that can be online. So if you want to schedule a Skype session, which I'll talk about in just a moment, we could meet online, or you can come into my office, totally up to you. I do encourage you, however, to make an appointment ahead of time, just because sometimes a lot of students are trying to make appointments with me. I have 5 courses this term, so sometimes it can get a little bit packed. So if you want to reserve a space, making sure that you have, you have that time just for you, please send me an email, and my email address is here, michelle.stgeorge@csueastbay.edu. When you write an email to me, I do encourage you to say your full name and then what section, which class and section you're in, just so I know immediately who you are and I'm not, trying to figure that out. Okay. And I do encourage you to visit me during office hours, right? I think, that's such a good practice and habit to get into. So just know I'm very open to that. And if I am busy from 2:40 to 3:40 and other students are, if I have a lot of students coming in, I'll try to make an appointment with you for some other time. Okay, so required text. There's one book for this course. It's They Say, I Say, 3rd edition. And you will have readings from it throughout the term. And sometimes that, I do a lot of lecturing and a lot of YouTube videos. However, there's a lot of content in that book that you will be expected and responsible for looking at. Other required materials, so you are responsible for Respondus to download the Respondus lockdown browser here, right? And in the week, in our weekly folders, which we'll get to in a moment, I do have a much longer tutorial on Respondus lockdown browser here, and I explain what that is. But just to quickly review, Respondus lockdown browser is a browser just like Google Chrome or Firefox, right, or Safari, but it locks down everything else so that you can't look up sources or you couldn't, Google things. And it's used for timed essays in this class. For timed essays, you're not allowed to use sources or, email people for help, right? It's supposed to be a reflection of your writing skills. So you're required for those timed essays to use the Respondus lockdown browser. It's a free download. And I do encourage you to just download that soon. That way during timed essay number 1, it's easy enough to go into the browser and take that first essay. Okay, so course description. So it's in the title. This is a course for writing to become proficient writers, college writers. In our English 300 course, you are going to do a portfolio. You're going to complete a portfolio of writing that is submitted to and evaluated by a committee of university faculty at the end of the term. That's a really important piece of information. So this course is for credit, no credit. So as long as you're completing all of the course materials and doing your due diligence, you'll pass the course. However, if you're taking English 300 for to fulfill your UWSR requirement, just know that that final portfolio is passed along not to me, but to a committee of university faculty. And that's the committee reads and scores portfolios at the end of the term. Okay. So for students who earn a clear competence or a score of 8 on that, you've fulfilled your university writing skills requirement. You're done. If you earn a 7 or a developing competence, then you need to take one more course, English 302. And then if you earn a limited competence or a score of 6, then you have to take this course again. But just know very few students earn that LC or score of 6. And if you're really doing your due diligence during this course, you shouldn't earn that score. Okay. A little piece of information that's interesting, our English 300 course does have an overarching theme, and that theme in most of the readings and writings we do will connect to the California Proposition 12, which is an initiative on the ballot, the California ballot for November, right? And it's the Farm Animal Confinement Initiative. So for those of you planning to vote in November, this issue is one of the things you'll be voting on. So I do hope that provides you with a supportive context and an interesting context for this course. And so you'll see that some of the readings and writings we do deal with animal rights and animal ethics and the ethics of raising farm animals. But the final essay that you do, the final position essay that you do, will actually be on this initiative directly. So that should be, I hope, interesting to you, that following that theme throughout the term. Course objectives. So this is really interesting. The course objectives for this course are actually the same objectives for the UWSR portfolio rubric, which means that if you're doing the things, if you're meeting the objectives of this course, you're also meeting the objectives of the UWSR, right? The University Writing Skills requirement. So just know if you feel like, oh yeah, I can meet these objectives, well, you should do very well on the portfolio. So I'll ask you to spend a moment, pause the video, and look at those objectives. We're not going to go through them one by one, but I do want to make sure that you look at what the actual expectations of this course are when you finish it. Okay, moving on to the course requirements, okay. So this course requires 3 timed essays, all of which will be completed online, all of which will use the Respondus Lockdown browser, and you have to complete those essays in one sitting, and they're about 2 hours, so you need to, there's no time for breaks and planning and, doing other stuff during those essays. You have to give yourself 2 hours to sit down and write the essay. The next requirement are the 2 out-of-class essays. These are multi-draft essays, which you'll receive support on from me, as well as the SCA Center, which I'll get into in just a moment. At the end of the course, you'll have a reflective essay as well as the final portfolio. And throughout the term, you'll be doing conferences with me as well as with tutors, and there'll be a few quizzes and activities. And all of that will equal 200 points, so you'll be earning points throughout the term. But just know that this course is for credit, no credit, right? So you won't receive an A, a B, or C, you'll just receive a pass-fail. Okay. Confidentiality, so I can't actually disclose grades to you. However, if you go to the Grade Center here, My Grades, your grades are there. So if you're ever wondering how you're doing, please just check in with the Grade Center. Don't email me, just that your grade will be there. Grievance policy, hey, if you ever have an issue, you feel like something's wrong or off, or you're upset by something, please contact me first. I should be your first point of contact. And then if we can't, ameliorate the issue, then we'll contact the coordinator of composition, and the 3 of us will try to work out the issue. But if ever you have an issue, please just email me first. Okay, attendance, lateness, and participation. We're on page 2, guys. This is good. Anyway, so attendance, lateness, and participation in an online course is a little bit different, obviously, because you're not showing up to a class each week, right? Instead, you're asked to show up, quote unquote, to our Blackboard page and to complete each of the assignments in the weekly folder. So let's talk about weekly folders. Here's the weekly folder in the tab, and each week, here's week 1, which we're in, right? You'll click on that. There'll be a day 1 and a day 2. And so day 1, you'll be asked to complete by Thursday. There'll be different lectures, videos, reading assignments that you'll need to complete. And then there'll be a day 2, day 3, day 4, etc., etc. I'm going to click on that, which will also have assignments to complete. So essentially, when I'm talking about showing up to class, essentially that's how you show up. You do the assignments, whether that's a discussion board or an activity or reading. You do that in order to show that you are participating in this course. If I see that you're not engaging in the course assignments, you're not doing the lectures or the activities, then essentially you're not attending class. Okay. In-class timed essays, again, we've talked about this already. You'll need that Respondus lockdown browser. You're not allowed to look up sources during timed essays, and you'll have an hour and 50 minutes and to complete the timed essay, and you'll do that in one sitting. The out-of-class essays, again, there's 2 of these, and I want to emphasize here that the drafts that you complete, the one that you show to me, the instructor draft, as well as the one that you show your SCA tutor, those go in the portfolio. Again, those go in the portfolio. So you need to make sure that you're saving the drafts as well as the final essay, right? So don't lose those. Make sure there's a place, whether that's a folder or something, that you're putting all of that work into. Reflective essay, this is not going to be for, another 15 weeks, but at the end of the course, you will be asked to do a reflective essay where you talk about what you've learned in the course, how you've grown as a writer, and how your portfolio that you'll be developing reflects that growth. Okay, so the SCA Center is located in the library, and essentially it's a free tutoring service that you can use, and any student can use, in order to receive feedback on your writing, right? In addition to that, for our class, they do have an online writing lab, or an OWL, which you can submit essays to. On top of that, for our class, we actually have an embedded tutor, Matt, and he is also available and you can email him and make conference appointments with him as well. And he is designated just for our class, so he'll know all about our assignments. He and I meet weekly, so he has a good sense of the students in the course. So I encourage you to reach out to him as well. So there's lots of opportunities for you to receive feedback on your work, whether that's in the SCA Center located in the library, whether that's submitting your essay online for feedback, or whether that's contacting Matt, our embedded SCA tutor, and making an appointment with him. One final thing, Matt is available in the SCA, but he's also available online where you can video chat with him. So if you make an appointment, just know that that service is available to you. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit more about how you can contact him in another lecture. Okay, so portfolio, here are all of the required documents for your end of the term portfolio. So essentially, this is everything you should be saving. Notice all of your timed essays are put into that portfolio. Notice each of the out-of-class essays is put into the portfolio along with your Turnitin originality reports, which again, I'm not covering in this video, though there will be a video on that, as well as the drafts for those out-of-class essays. So again, make sure that you're saving all of the work you do in this class. Okay, so again, we've already talked about the limited competence, developing competence, and clear competence. Those are the 3 scores that you can receive on your portfolio. And I always say we're all striving for C's, right? Because that's what you want, is a clear competence. That's what's going to allow you to meet your university writing skills requirement. Okay, A little note here, let's say you blow off the course but still do a portfolio. You have to do both, right? You need to pass the course and pass the portfolio. So just know you can't just show up at the end of the term with a portfolio. In turn, know that it's possible to receive credit for the course. You've done all the work and not receive a CC on the portfolio. You might receive a DC on the portfolio. So just know it sort of works both ways. Okay, so Turnitin. The Turnitin.com is embedded in our Blackboard. You don't have to sign up for a Turnitin.com. You don't need a login. It'll all be through Blackboard. You'll just drop it in a little Dropbox. Really easy. So just know for those 2 out-of-class essays, you'll submit it to Turnitin.com, but it's all through Blackboard. You don't need an account. What is Turnitin.com? Essentially, it catches and it looks at similarity rates between your essay and other essays and other things published online. And it's a way for us to make sure that students are producing their own work, that they're not borrowing ideas, that they're not stealing ideas, that they're not plagiarizing. And I don't have issues with that typically. If you're doing your own work, it is, you'll be fine. Okay, Blackboard. This is our vehicle for almost all things, right? That's where you're going to get the assignments, lectures, you're going to sign up for conferences there, you're going to submit essays there. So make sure that you know Blackboard well, our Blackboard page well. The weekly folder is so crucial. The archive of course materials, that's where I'll put old assignments and things so you're not searching through all the weekly folders. It's also where my grades, your grade book is. So please make sure you're checking Blackboard, multiple times a week. Okay. Page 3. We're almost there, guys. Okay. So conferences and Skype. So you'll actually meet with me twice during the term. Now you can come in and meet with me in person if that works for you. I'm here. But for students who, it's not convenient for them to come to campus, I also do online meetings, right? And I use a free program called Skype to do that. Now, I know many of you probably have a Skype account and are familiar with that. If you don't already have an account, then I'll ask you to create one, download the program. Again, it's free. And then you'll just send me a Skype request, right? So here I am, I'm live right now. Here's my picture, right? It's me in a green dress. And so you'll just send me a Skype contact request. And then during our conferences, we'll be able to Skype and we'll be able to meet face-to-face and talk about your writing. So please make sure that you, get Skype and send that contact request to me soon, just so that we have that all set. My Skype email account is here, so you can just search for that once, you can search for me in the search for contact box, and I'll show up. You'll send the Skype request. If you have any questions about that or something is going wonky, you can just send me an email and I'll help you out with that. Okay. Plagiarism and academic dishonesty. Hey, guys. If you are ever thinking about, buying an essay or engaging in plagiarism, please contact me. We can always work things out, right? If you're stressed out, you feel like I can't write this essay, contact me first. Don't go and plagiarize. I know there are so many websites now that are catering, to students and, hey, we'll write your essay for you. That's not the point of this class. The point is to help you become proficient writers, which is a skill that you can take well beyond, your well beyond college into your career. So please make sure that when you are using someone else's words, that there's a clear distinction between them, that you're saying, hey, as so-and-so says. You're using quotation marks, right? You're indicating, hey, this is this person's words and these are my words, right? So just do your due diligence with that. If a student does engage in plagiarism, then I do have to file an academic dishonesty report, and you do have to, you won't receive credit for the class. So please, if you ever have a question about citations or you're thinking about or attempted to plagiarize, contact me, really. Okay, students with disabilities, if you have a documented disability, please just contact me and let me know how I can help and meet your academic accommodation. Just let me know. And finally, etiquette. Hey, when you're posting to Blackboard or when you're, doing a writing assignment, please make sure that you have the etiquette or have the courtesy to proofread what you're writing, right? Don't write frivolously. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your peers' time. Make sure you care about your writing. That's what the point of this class. Woohoo! We're done with the syllabus part of this lecture. The final thing is just the course schedule. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about how to read this and what we'll be doing. But I'll just say the entire course is planned out. Every week you'll if you're looking at the course schedule, you'll have a sense of when things are due and what you're going to be reading, right? So notice in week 1, it says day 1, there's the course syllabus. And then in day 2, you have some readings, rhetorical situation, understanding prompts, right? And then it says complete all lectures in the week 1 folder. So notice that week 1 corresponds to that week 1 folder. So all you have to do is go to Blackboard and basically do everything in the week 1, day 2 folders. So day 1, notice if you click on it, there's the Respondus browser, and here's the syllabus that you need to complete, read. In the day 2 folder, so here it says day 2, rhetorical situations, understanding prompts. So we can just go back and click on that. And notice there's the rhetorical situation, and there's the understanding prompts lecture as well as reading. So basically, you'll know what's in each weekly folder before it's even there, that, again, everything is laid out for you. I'll say, or point this out, week 5 are instructor conferences. Week 6, you'll be meeting with a SCA tutor. Maybe that's Matt, maybe that's our embedded tutor, or maybe you'll actually go to the SCA center. And then in week 6, that's when your first major essay 1 is due. So you'll have lots of time to write that first major essay. The readings are also listed out here. So the MLA readings or the they say, I say readings are also listed out here. Just know that, in any week, you need to complete everything in for example, the week 4 folder before moving on to week 5, right? It's your responsibility to complete that work. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking through this. If you have any additional questions, please feel welcome to email. And if not, it's time to begin work on that week folder. Thank you.